Hi, I'm Alan. Today we will learn KT Speaking course, KT Speaking Part 1, Lesson 1, Food and Drink. In this lesson, you will practice vocabulary about food and drinks. Practice KET Speaking Part 1, mock KT Speaking Part 1. In this lesson, we are going to practice Part 1. Here you can see the assessment skills. This is the assessment skills for the KET speaking test. I will help you practice and provide suggestions for grammar and vocabulary, pronunciation, interactive communication, and global achievement in the class. Don't worry, just open your mouth and practice together. You will get better and better. Here, let's have a look at think and say. What do you like to eat and drink?
I like to eat hamburgers, and I also like to drink Coca-Cola.
Can you tell me other food and drinks?
Sausage, orange juice, milk.
That's nice. So here we can see other food and drink. Now please repeat after me. Sandwich,
Sandwich,
pasta,
pasta,
lemonade,
lemonade,
juice.
juice.
Good job. This is practice interview part. In this part, you are going to answer questions about yourselves and different topics. Let's watch a video to learn more. Okay, now let's move on. Let's look at listen and answer. Let's practice. What's your name?
Fiona.
You can also say, my name is Fiona. Try to use the full sentence.
My name is Fiona.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
And where do you come from?
I come from China.
Where do you live?
I live in Beijing.
Okay, so here I've got some tips for you. If you want to do well, please make sure to answer using full sentences.
Okay.
Now let's practice more. Which is your favorite food?
I think I like apples.
That's nice. And I think you can also say like this by using this sentence pattern. For example, oranges are my favorite because they're juicy and sweet. Can you try to use this sentence pattern?
Okay.
Which is your favorite fruit?
I can use bananas. Bananas are my favorite fruit. Bananas are my favorite because they are soft and sweet.
Nice. This time it's better. Now, let's look at this activity. Please tell me something about what you eat and drink on school days. You need to drag the words into the boxes. Now, let's check the answer. Okay, let's read it out.
I usually have lunch in the cafeteria with my classmates on school days. We always have rice, vegetables, and chicken. I prefer drinking water with my meal. We often share our food I really enjoy these happy
Moments.
moments with my classmates.
That's nice. Now it's mock time. You are going to answer 5 questions about food in 1 minute. What time do you usually have dinner?
I usually mm, mm,
I
mm,
usually
I usually have dinner
dinner
at
at
6 o'clock because I need to finish my homework first.
When do you eat in restaurants?
I usually eat in restaurants on weekends because it's our family day out.
What are the cafes like in your town?
The cafes in my town are good.
Where does your family buy food from?
My family usually buy foods from the supermarket because it saves time.
Now, please tell me something about what you eat and drink on school days.
I usually have lunch in the cafeteria with my classmates on school days. We always have rice and chicken. We often share our food.
Okay, thank you. Now let's look at the feedback and corrections. I think you did great on today's mocking part, okay? And here you can see the 4 skills. The first that is global achievement. Generally, I think your speaking is good, but pay attention to at the first question, you pause for a long time, so pay attention. You need to keep going, keep saying, okay? And the second part, grammar and vocabulary. You can use the correct words and you can use the correct tense to describe the answer. That's pretty good. And for the pronunciation, you really did a good job in that part. And the last part, that is interactive communication, is good because it's not like reciting. You're talking with me, so that's good. For your strengths, I think you're relaxed, right? And you're trying to communicate with me. That's pretty good. And sometimes you're also thinking. I think it's good. You can try to use because to talk about the reason, to talk about more things in details. That's good. The one thing I think you can improve, that make sure don't pause too long, right? You need to keep saying and keep going. And sometimes you need to talk more if you can. That's based on you know how to talk about the topic, right? Okay, now let's move on. Today, you practice vocabulary about food and drink. Practice KET speaking part 1. Mock the KET speaking part 1. We still have some time. So let's move on to the next slides to have some extra practice. Here you can see some useful words to describe the daily life. Now let's read after me. Never.
Never.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Often.
Often.
Usually.
Usually.
Always.
Always.
Okay, so how often do you have bread and milk for breakfast?
I usually have bread and milk for breakfast.
Nice. And now let's talk about the places to eat. Let's practice. What food do you like eating at home?
I like eating dumplings and noodles at home because they are delicious.
Nice. Okay, so actually there are more questions. If you got some time in your real class, you can continue to discuss with your students. Okay, now let's stop here.